Hi, this is MaryEllen with Portraits of Me, and I am re-recording my intro to the video, The Reading Habits Tag. I was originally tagged to do this video by Edshara from Shara Me with Books. Thank you so much for tagging me. And after I recorded my video and answered all the questions, before I could post it, I was tagged again by Angela from Coffee and Chapters. Thank you so much, Angela, for thinking of me as well. So I'm going to put their videos below in the description box. Make sure you check out their videos and their answers. But since I was tagged by two people, I thought it would be fun to do a tally and to see who I'm more alike. So I am putting their pictures here and showing you who mirrors my answers. And then at the end of the video, we'll announce who I'm more alike. Am I more like Edshara or am I more like Angela? So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video so that way you can see who had more similarities to me and me to them. I'm going to go ahead and start playing the original video where I answer these questions, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay, stay tuned. Hi, this is MaryEllen with Portraits of Me, and today I'm coming to you with a tag video. And the tag is called the Reading Habits Tag. So there are 12 questions, so let's get to the first one. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home where you read? And I really don't have a place in my home where I read at this point. I read either in my bedroom on my bed, or if I'm alone in the house, I read on my couch in the living room. So it just depends if someone's home. If my husband's home or his brother's home, then I'll go to my room and read because it's a lot quieter there. If they are not home, then I'll venture out of my room and read on my couch. So that's about it. Question number 2. Bookmarks are random pieces of paper. Actually, I don't use either, and no, I don't dog ear my books. I like to read hardcover books. So when I read hardcover books, what I do for my bookmark is I use the dust jacket. I know a lot of people take the dust jacket off when they read hardcover books so it doesn't get ruined, but I like to have mine on when I'm reading it because I like to look at the picture sometimes when I read. Sometimes when the picture depicts what the tale's about or gives, pictures of the character or the scenery. When I'm reading the book, I like to flip to the front and just look at it and just let my imagination go. So what I do is I don't use a bookmark. I use the flap. Just whatever page I'm on, fold it over, and that will tell you where I'm at in the book. Once I get past the middle, then I'll begin to use the back flap. And ta-da! No bookmark needed. Now, if it's a soft covered book, which I don't read very often, but when I do, of course I can't use a dust jacket because it doesn't have one. So then yes, my answer would be a random piece of paper, which normally is the receipt I use to buy the book. So let's go to question number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop reading at the end of a chapter or after a certain amount of pages? I am the kind of person who loves to read till the end of the chapter, because the beginning of the chapter is one thought. You read through that thought and it stops at the end of the chapter, and normally the next chapter is a new thought or a new scene or a new character or something's new when the next chapter starts. So I like to stop at a chapter. However, I have been reading a lot on my lunch breaks at work, and I only have about 20 to 25 minutes to read. So sometimes I do have to stop in the middle of a chapter, but I prefer to stop at the end of a chapter. And lots of times I get lucky and I do, which is nice. Question number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading? I know I just said I read on my lunch break, but on my lunch break I don't eat. I normally eat before or after, so that way I can totally dedicate my lunchtime to reading. Aren't I a dedicated reader? So to answer that question, no, I normally do not eat when I'm reading. However, I do drink. That sounds bad. I normally drink like a coffee or a soda or water while I'm reading, but not all the time. This is only if I'm at home and I want to make myself a nice cup of coffee, or if I go to a bookstore to read or a coffee shop to read. and those are the only times I really do enjoy a beverage. If I'm reading in bed, then no, I don't eat and I don't drink. And one of the reasons why I don't eat while I'm reading is because lots of times I end up splashing some sauce or staining a page with food, and I don't like that, so I stopped doing that. So that's the answer to question number 4. Let's go to question number 5. Multitasking. Do you watch TV or do you listen to music while you read? And the answer is no. If I am in my room, I don't have either TV or music because I don't have a TV in my room or a radio. If I'm in the living room and the TV's on, it's way too distracting. I end up like gazing at the TV, going back to my book, gazing at the TV, going back to my book, and rereading the same line over and over again. So I don't like distractions when I read. Music is fine because music I can easily drown out. So music is fine. So if I'm reading in a public place where there's music, that doesn't bother me. But TVs tend to grab my attention because of the visual, and so I tend to have the TV turned off when I read. Question number 6. One book at a time or several at once? I'm a several at once person. I actually filmed a YouTube video about that, and I will link that below if you are interested in seeing that video. But my preferred reading habits is to read maybe 3, 4, or 5 books at once. And the way I do that so I don't get confused with the different storylines is I pick different types of genres. So I pick a fantasy with a children's book, with an autobiography or a Christian themed book, and that way the stories don't intermingle and I can keep the stories separate. Question number 7. Reading at home or reading everywhere? I think I've answered that question in my previous questions. I can read anywhere. I actually keep a book with me in my purse, so if I am stuck somewhere waiting for someone or waiting for the doctor or just bored, I can pull out my book and read. I don't mind reading in the car, on a picnic bench, in a coffee shop. I can read anywhere. That's why I always carry a book with me. Question number 8. Reading out loud or silently in my head? Well, I don't read out loud. I read silently in my head. If I read out loud, I would read a lot slower than I already read. And plus, I don't want to hear myself talk when I'm reading. To me, that's a distraction in itself. So, in my head. Question number 9. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? Of course not. That's the fun of reading. No, I don't. I don't skip ahead, and I don't read the ending first. I read from the beginning of the book all the way through to the end of the book. However, sometimes when I get to a really interesting part where I want to find out what the answer is, sometimes I find myself skimming the lines and the pages, but I try not to do that because I want to enjoy the full story and what the author wrote that he or she wants us to experience. So I tend not to skip pages, and I definitely don't read ahead because I want to be surprised while I'm reading. If I knew what was going to happen, then to me it just takes away the pleasure of reading. So that's my answer to that one. Question number 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? Of course, I buy mostly hardbacks, and so the spines are basically like new. However, when I do buy soft covered books or paperbacks, it's really hard not to bend them. So I've tried like bending the pages and it's like this, reading like this so I don't hurt the back. On small books like this, normally the spine's okay, but if it's a thicker pocket book, I try to curve the pages when I'm reading. However, if it's really fat like Game of Thrones, creases are going to happen because there's just so many pages and you can't really, even when you're doing this, you're still going to crease the spine. So I'm okay with the creased spine if it's a soft paperback. And yeah, so I try to keep them new though. I do try, but it doesn't always happen. So question number 11. Do you write in your books? Heck no. I do not write in my books because I like to keep my books nice and neat and pretty. However, if I have like a devotional or a book where it's intended for you to write in, like a journal that has like, you know, storytelling and then questions at the end or whatever, then yes, I will write in the book and make notes or highlight and things like that, so I remember certain parts of the book. Mostly if it's a devotional, because there's certain aspects of it that, you know, really touch you and you want to remember it. So those kinds of books I do write or highlight, but in regular storybooks, no, I'm not a fan of writing in my books. And the final question, question number 12, who do you tag? I'm going to tag my sister. She didn't do the last tag that I tagged her in, but I'm hoping she will do this one because it's a lot easier. There's no research to do, you just answer the question. So Linda from Homeschooling 6, I tag you to do this tag. And I also would like to tag Stacy from Stacy Loves to Read. She is an avid reader. I've watched all her book hauls and know she has a lot of books out there to read, and so I would love to hear what her answers are to this tag as well. And if you haven't done this tag and you are interested in doing it, please do so. I would love to watch your video and see what answers you give to these 12 questions. Hi again. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. So let me go over those results with you. It looks like I had 6 same answers with Edshara, and I also had 6 answers with Angela. So it was a tie. Looks like I'm a little like both of them. What was interesting though, I did tally up their answers, and they answered 9 of the 11 questions the same. So if you include the tag questions, they answered 10 of the 12 answers the same. So I would like to let Edshara and Angela know, if you aren't friends on BookTube, you should be friends because you have a lot in common. So thank you so much for watching this video. It was lots of fun. I enjoyed doing it. And again, Angela's and Edshara's videos will be below. Make sure you check those out and like this video if you enjoyed this. Don't forget to do some comments below or subscribe if you would like to see more of me. I do try to post a video at least once a week if I can. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, you guys. Have a great one. Bye.